Hey, what's up? What is going on? I was watching the Supreme Court nomination and decided to pick out some relevant books. So it's kind of like post-apocalyptic period. We're starting with Kafka's The Trial, which really is one of my favorite books because it's completely crazy. He started writing it at the beginning of World War I and then put it aside. He thought he could never deal with it again, and then he died. It was unfinished, but it was published after. It's a great story about a guy called Joseph K. who's suddenly arrested from his apartment. He has no idea why. There's no charges brought out against him. He keeps having to go to this like crazy court that's like in a tenement building, and he can never figure out what's going on. So this is actually very appropriate reading right now. And second book on hand, getting passed to me, Ray Bradbury's Fahrenheit 451, which if you haven't heard of this yet, that's the temperature paper burns at. This book is about a fireman, and the firemen in this book go around and burn books because they've been censored to the point of like destruction. People just don't want books around anymore. And that was because of like a minority of people with all the money and power, the corporate entities say, found them useless and people shouldn't have them. So anyway, he becomes enlightened and ends up going, hey, you know, maybe we shouldn't be burning these. And the fire chief's like, take home a bunch of books for 24 hours, read them, and see if there's anything worthwhile in there, because there's not. And on goes that story. But Ray Bradbury is amazing. And now we're going to go to the next book, which is Albert Camus, French, that's right, and The Stranger. This is a great book because it's completely freaky. It's about this guy who is hanging out with some people, and he goes out, it's a long story, it's a long short story, but basically he gets into a thing with these Arabs and it's just kind of a guy walking around the street and then becomes a murderer. It's really amazing, and it's a quick read. It's easy, even during COVID. And honestly, it's probably happier than what's going on TV. Finally, okay, this is like a crazy book no one's read except for Darren Aronofsky, who I interviewed once about Hubert Selby Jr., because Hubert Selby Jr. wrote Last Exit to Brooklyn, which Aronofsky filmed and did a brilliant job on. But anyway, this is The Demon by Hubert Selby. I don't have the jacket, but you know, it's a first edition with cool pages. Anyway, this book's about a guy who at the beginning lives with his parents, and he's an adult, and he has like a good job at this business. This like sort of office-y corporate thing where you have to move up the ladder. The moving up the ladder thing has to happen with a wife though. So even though this guy has like all these deviant thoughts, he ends up getting married to this woman. Once he gets married to this woman, he gets higher up in his corporation, and his deviant actions get worse and worse and worse. Like, he doesn't just cheat on his wife. He cheats on his wife with the worst, most disgusting and disease-ridden prostitutes. Like, super not good. And, like, it goes on from there. And then that's not enough denigration for him. So he goes on and on and on until you reach the end of the book. And it is brilliant. You should get it. Came out in the 70s. Hubert Selby Jr.'s The Demon. How is being upside down? All right. Hey, read and try to avoid that Senate confirmation hearing. I mean, these are happier than that.